So you talked about typical immigrant family, upbringing, right? In some ways, do you feel like that helped you to kind of can did that push you towards entrepreneurship, or you kind of found your own way, kind of rebelling, through that process and making your own way into entrepreneurship?
I don't think that it was encouraged at all. Growing up, I think uh the the path of being a professional and being a lawyer, and having a degree and going into a desk job, that was sort of like the key. I think I have very good instincts, and I've always had that growing up. And I can convince my mind of one thing, like this is what society wants, this is what my parents want. But deep down, I think that I always end up going with my gut and going with my intuition, which oftentimes creates a lot of conflict and friction between family and friends and people that are, and I'm still very much like that even today. Uh, there's a lot of dissatisfied people that I know from just decisions that I've made, and I'm okay with that. I don't really mind that. But yeah, it definitely was what was quite a bit of an uphill battle, a little bit of like a um you know I've always rebelled growing up. I think like a lot of kids do, but like I guess I just never like grew up. So I just viewed like starting an internet company as the ultimate act of rebellion at that time. Cause I was like, all right, like, you want me to make like six figures, like as a salary, like I'm gonna make it in like one day, like watch, right? So it's kind of like one of those things. And obviously now like my dad has like come around and he's super proud of everything that I've done. But I think specifically for like first generation Americans, it's hard to sort of tell your parents that you're going to not go on this career path, but also like explain to them why, right? It's like to them, my dad, he had no choice but to start a business because he didn't have a degree, right? He couldn't get a comfortable office job um and like like have the comfortable life or easy life, so to speak. So to him, hearing that I wanted to like start a company was just kind of like, why? Like, why would you do that when you have like every school at your disposal, and like you have access to like all these institutions and all of that. So it didn't really make a lot of sense. But I've just learned that I think like the more you just piss off people, the more right you probably are, and you should continue to sort of go in that direction, whether that's family or friends or society. So yeah, luckily I stuck with it, and I think it turned out okay so far.
Yeah. No, I mean a lot of good points there, right? I think just to have, I guess, some sympathy for the immigrant parents as well. They had a life of hardship. A lot of the time, they think if you pursue entrepreneurship, it's going to be just as hard for you. So they want you to take the safe route, which is like being a professional. So, but I guess talk about your even though you're born here, you grew up here, pretty much an immigrant, had that immigrant experience. Did that help you in any way? I guess kind of toughen you up, give you more perseverance. And is that helping you now? I guess being an entrepreneur, like how do you relate that experience to overall?
Yeah, I think growing up poor definitely helps building a business, because um, your pain tolerance is really high, right? So it's like when I get rejected by investors, like I'm like, okay, well, like I think go home and still eat, and like I have a roof over my head and I have a bed. Like that's just the words. That's just like who cares, right? And I think for a lot of people, like they get their ego involved, and it's a psychological thing, and they're just like, oh my god. I guess like I have a high threshold for pain, and appreciation as well, right? Like I don't take any of this for granted, because I know what it was like, what life was like without any of that. And I appreciate every single day. I appreciate every single employee that I have the privilege of working with and hiring. I appreciate every single investor. I appreciate every single dollar that comes into the business.